Hi everyone, this is Kat of Catalyst Holistic Life Coaching, bringing your life in alignment with you. I am here today to do your reading for this full moon in Leo that happened this weekend. Happened this morning at about 2:30 a.m. in our area. And we also had it as a supermoon, so we may have been feeling this energy really strongly. Um, but I found it really interesting that this week I was teaching on a hatha, like heart chakra class, and had everything kind of really heart centered focus and like being courageous and coming forward, and then realizing that the moon was in Leo, which Leo actually does rule the heart and is a fire sign. So, if you know any Leos, you tend to know how very outgoing they are. Some of them are on the other end of the spectrum where they're much more quiet and turned inward, but they're very loving and generous signs for the most part. They have very big hearts. So I felt like with that being the supermoon, like we were really being called to bring our hearts forward, to really express ourselves truthfully. We're finally tapping into our truer selves. We're listening more with our heart than with our heads. So that could be the energy that's coming up for you. So again, I'm using the Moonology deck. We have, for the full moon in Leo in this deck, this warns about don't let pride get in your way. So, with this being heightened, we don't want to also fall on the other side of when we're really proud and boastful about ourselves. We don't want it to be limiting us from things that are beneficial to us as well by being too prideful. We think we don't need certain things. We won't accept things because we don't want to have humility, or we want to come off of these as these really strong individuals that don't need anyone or anything. And so just maybe be a little bit wary of how you're letting your pride get in your way of dealing with others, or dealing with certain situations. So, for a tarot card from the Fairy Tarot that represents the overall energy of this moon, we have the Four of Winter. Okay. Set aside your concerns for now. You can make a decision later. Solutions that come from meditation, the need for more sleep or vacation. So this represents like the Four of Swords in a regular suit. So this does have to do with like rest, taking a step back. You could have been putting a lot of energy into something, and maybe you're being asked to kind of step back from something, and you're being really prideful, like, I don't want to come off as weak. I need to keep pushing myself because I don't want it to like damage my ego or come off a certain way. But you're really being called to kind of turn more inward for this moon cycle till we move into the new moon, and take some time to really sit with your heart energy, coming more into alignment with your true power. Because if we start to overexert ourselves, then we tend to either take on too much, or we're not really leading from a place that is true. So this could be a good time to kind of take a step back from those things maybe you've been working really hard towards, and not forcing yourself so much. Full moons are also really about letting go and decompressing. So this could be really shedding some of those energies for yourself. Okay. So the first card we have represents what needs to be forgiven or what is falling away for us. And we have the full moon in Virgo. You are good enough. So there's some of us are, I really see with us wanting to, take this energy of like being prideful. We're resisting this kind of resting phase because we're worried that we're not going to be successful. We're not going to make all the right decisions. Stepping away from a certain situation would make us look weak. And so this is just a reminder to you to kind of let go of those ideas of lack within yourself, and knowing that just you and yourself are good enough. When you're leading from this true heart space, you have everything that you need. You don't need to waste your energy on trying to prove yourself when all you really have is to be there for yourself. Okay. So what is our second card is what is this full moon illuminating for us? And we have the full moon in Libra, a win-win outcome is forecast. So yeah, you could be worried about losing something you've been working really hard towards, whether this could be maybe a relationship, but I feel like for a lot of us, this is kind of more in our personal work, our own things that we put out into the world. And you have been really worried about taking a step back and not putting as much energy in because you're worried of this failure. But this is just bringing to light that everything is going to be okay. It will benefit you to really rest and recover so that you can come back strong and prepared for these new things that are moving forward for you. Because what comes next, we have the new moon in Scorpio, working through your fears. So I personally, I do have this problem of sitting back and not doing anything, especially when I'm already exhausted. I feel like I constantly have to go, go, go. I have to really put so much effort into anything if I really want to see any sort of results. I can't just let things like come to me sometimes. But there's only so much that you can force, and if there's kind of resistance being met, if you have your own like negative emotions coming up or your own fears, like this is something that you're going to be working through over the next couple weeks. So paying attention to that resistance that comes up to the idea of self-care, or the idea of this isn't even a point of you giving up. None of this is asking you to give up in a situation. Rest isn't giving up. It is taking time to nourish yourself, to show yourself that you have the love and support that you need before anything else. And that's definitely a hard fear for some of us, is the fear of not having enough, the fear of lack. And Scorpio is also really a dedicated, focused sign too. So, but this goes more into our depths, into our shadow selves. So there could be a lot of shadow work coming up in this area, accepting more aspects of ourselves. Again, this kind of prideful energy of who are we really trying to look good for? Are we are we trying to impress others by doing all of these things for ourselves, or are we actually doing it because we love it? So see how that manifests for you. Okay, and then moving into some goddess energy that will help us during the week. Some goddess energy that you can call on, or maybe assisting us for the next couple weeks. We have the first goddess is Nyx, goddess of secrets. So this is all about like mystery, not knowing, not having all of the answers, and being okay with just being where you're at and not needing to force things or have everything laid out, because that can only go so far in life. A lot of the times we need to just take a step back and allow the universe to kind of work its magic. So however this is appearing for you, this could be really calling on you to be more trusting of yourself, trusting of your own gifts. You are good enough. I see like kind of similar imagery here. Trusting that not everything is being revealed, not because you aren't good enough or you're not doing what you should be doing, but because there's still some workings going on behind the scenes, and there's still pieces that have to come together. So just trusting that delays are happening for whatever reason, for the perfect reason. And then we had a second goddess pop up for green Terra, salvation. So, since there is a lot of, yeah, that green energy, I can really see this as like a salvation from yourself, a salvation from the old you, releasing old patterns, feeling more at home in yourself. Like this is kind of saving you from staying on that path that you've been on for so many years, and instead bringing you to a place of, more connection and more heart centeredness. And you will feel lighter and be so much more grateful that you took this time to really care for yourself and nurture yourself. All right, so that is your full moon in Leo forecast. Yeah, just keep opening that heart space, keep moving forward. We'll be feeling this energy for the next couple weeks till we come to the new moon. We've got a lot more Leo and fire energy coming up. So, try not to close off, try not to be boastful of yourself in the sense of not wanting to look weak in front of others, because heart space is really about vulnerability, and that is really a lot of courage. When you think of the lion, there's courage and leadership. So don't be afraid to follow your own path, even if that's not what you're used to. You have the strength and capability to do this. All right, so thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I hope this really resonated with you. This is just a reading for the general collective. If you want more of a personal reading, you can check out my website, or you can private message me, email me, however you want to get in contact. I do readings either in person, phone calls, or Skype calls if you're not nearby or you'd prefer to be more private.